And now, a thought from Mann. Okay, how did Buddy Thunderstruck fall under my radar? I mean, really, how did I miss this series? I should not have missed this by any means. It's honestly atrocious that I missed this, because this show is just fucking hilarious. And I mean that. It is legitimately funny. And I'm surprised by that. I really should feel ashamed of myself that I missed something like this. I really do feel ashamed, honestly.
Well, no worries.
The main premise of the show is about this dog extreme truck driver named title of the show who goes on wacky crazy adventures with his mechanic sidekick ferret Darnell. The episodes are mainly 11 minutes and they're very episodic, so no one episode really connects too much to the last episode. So you can basically come in at any episode and you'll be pretty much caught up on what's going on, because most of the time they're just goofing around or getting into crazy stupid shit. And I find that kind of nice. It's just a very simple premise that anybody can follow along to.
Blame it on the thunder!
The main character, Buddy, is a very egocentric character. He kind of thinks a lot of himself or puts himself on a very high pedestal, but that doesn't mean he can't be somewhat humble here and there. And he's not so egotistical that he just won't help anybody because, oh, I'm too great for it. He always tries to lend a helping hand, even though a lot of the time it ends up going wrong.
Whoa, look at this pile of sticks. So quaint, cozy, almost home-like. It'll make a good campfire.
If you ask me, with all the care that clearly went into how every stick is arranged, it'll make a dang great campfire, buddy!
But for the most part, he does try. You at least give him that. His friend Darnell is supposed to be his sidekick and the mechanic for his truck. And he's pretty much just as crazy as Buddy and usually helps suggest stupid things that would get them in trouble just as much as Buddy would. And honestly, they do work well off of each other because they're not 100% the same character. They may agree on a lot of things, but they are very different in their wants and goals as to what they want to accomplish. Sometimes they do agree to do the same stupid shit that would cause more problems than it would solve, but a lot of times they don't agree 100%. So they work well off each other. The main humor that comes from them is the fact that everyone else around them is pretty stupid. Whenever they come up with some crazy scheme that often would go wrong, they usually get away with it, but only because the people who agree to let them do it are they themselves stupid, or stupider than them. So basically a lot of the humor is just watching idiots be idiots and kind of screw themselves over. It still comes off as pretty funny though. They do have an offset though. There's Muncie, Buddy's cousin, who is pretty much the smart one out of everybody. She usually tries to keep Buddy well grounded and make sure he doesn't get into kind of stupid situations. Most of the time he ignores her and gets into those situations, but it's still kind of funny how their dynamic usually plays out.
You want the Concho Bolo to start delivering pizzas? No.
Well, today is opposite day, so that's a yes. Thank you.
Stop saying stupid things!
Opposite day, thus you want me to continue saying smart things, like my pizza idea. Okay, I shall.
Buddy does have actual rivals like Moneybags and a character named Big Tex and his son Tex Jr., who often get in the way or try to foil him in some way, shape, or form. And oftentimes you get very funny material from these rivalries. Ultimately, these are just really fun characters to just be around and see them do stupid shit and either get themselves or others hurt, honestly. It's kind of sadistic, but it's funny nonetheless.
You're weird, man.
The animation is done by the same people who do Robot Chicken, Stupid Buddy Studios, and it's honestly not surprising because it's also executive produced by the creators of Robot Chicken, so it's kind of understandable. And honestly, I say it's good how it's using stop motion. The way they do it, they have a lot of cuts, jumps, and it's a bit sporadic, but it works with the humor they're going for here. It's chaotic humor, and honestly, it works. It's also fast-paced. I'm always a fan of stop motion animation, especially the way you use it. And in this case, I'm an absolute fan of how they use it. This is funny. This is absolute gold as to how they do this show.
Looks like Tex Jr.'s trying out my quote-unquote secret moves. We gotta watch this. Time for a new whip, yo. Go! Go!
When I say this show is fucking funny, I mean it. This show is fucking funny. I don't care what anybody says, this is some funny ass material. I'm just amazed at how hilarious this show is. I mean, I was not expecting that. Looking into this, when I first heard about it, I'm like, what the hell is Buddy Thunderstruck? When I saw posters of it, I'm like, that looks stupid. That looks like it's a kiddie show. That looks like only little kids are gonna enjoy this. Then I watch it, I'm like, oh my god, this is some funny ass shit. This was just gold. How is this not having a big following? This is funny. The humor is fast paced, and I always think that's the best because that means if a joke fails, you can move on. You have to just move on to the next thing and just keep getting jokes out as much as you can. And just as well, it works because that way we don't get enough time to really foil the joke ourselves. Our brains are just too busy laughing at it or reacting to it, but once you get to the next one, it's like, oh, I can't think too much on that joke. I gotta move on to the next one and move on to the next one. I always like that, because that just keeps things going. And this show is nothing but fast-paced humor. I just fucking love that type of stuff. Especially with how the characters interact with one another, it always puts a smile on my face how they talk to each other. It's just so funny. It's sort of mean-spirited, but it's still funny as to how they do everything.
Hey, Mobo Truck of the future. Yeah, how do you like go potty?
Well?
Ha! Stupid! In the future, potty time is replaced with party time! It was my first order as president.
Did you just call me stupid?
And I even like some of the outside humor. Like one episode they literally have called Beaver Damn Fast Pizza. I'm like, okay, I see what you did there. I'll give you that. That was kind of clever. The humor of this show is honestly just fantastic. Hell, just the first episode, the first 5 seconds of the first episode, straight up will just tell you how this is gonna be. I just can't stop laughing at it. It is such a perfect opening to a series.
It took 6 years, but I finally finished building my dream house.
Sorry about that. I'm late for a race and I needed a shortcut.
Buddy Thunderstruck!
This is honestly an absolutely hilarious series, and I am pleasantly surprised by how good it really is. I was not expecting it to be that good. I thought it would just be kind of your typical, it's kind of some stupid humor, weird puppet show thing, but no. I was happy with how this show turned out. I was glad I was wrong about this show, because this is just gold. This show is pure gold. And I like the fact that it uses stop motion, because I feel like that should be more of a thing. The way it utilizes stop motion is just a new standard in my mind. It may not be the absolute deepest show like, say, Steven Universe or anything like that, but it's not trying to be. It is trying to just tell funny jokes with great characters and great situations, and I really can admire it for that. But that's just a thought.
We're gonna have your party so you can rock this party.